In a world of seemingly endless podcasts comes what many would call another one. Welcome to the Two Men podcast with your hosts Tim Matson and Phil Powell. Now please join these two confirmed men, that's two moderately entertaining nerds, as they take you on another podcast adventure that's guaranteed to be funny. Or not. This week the two men discuss the grapes of wrath.
Welcome to another episode of the Two Men podcast with me, one of your hosts, Tim.
And your other host, Phil. That would be me.
It's good to be here with you today.
Yes, it is. Is it a lonely Friday?
I don't feel terribly lonely today. I feel fine. I was taking a nap earlier with the cats, so I was...
so you were taking a nap this morning?
I took a nap this morning.
That's a little... so you woke up from sleeping to take a nap?
To take a nap. Yeah, well, to be fair, I stayed up really late last night.
So we're going to talk about grapes of wrath today.
Yeah, we're very excited because we're going to go see that this Friday.
That's right. We have lots of friends in the show. We're very excited. We want to help promote that show. Looks like they're going to have a bunch of water all over that stage.
Yeah,
and a bunch of gusty
let's hope it's not
stuff.
all over the stage. Maybe under the stage.
I'm hoping it's going to be like Disneyland, where the elephant, sprays water on you. It's going to be like a ride.
Prepare to be disappointed.
All right. I think it's going to be a happy ride.
Yeah.
It looks... I don't know anything about the show, but it looks a lot like the Beverly Hillbillies. The Beverly Hillbillies.
Have you not read the book?
No,
did you not have to?
I'm pretending.
I'm
familiar with the material. So we're going to talk about grapes of wrath.
Yeah,
and we're going to break down the individual words.
Okay,
that's part of it.
If you want to,
I feel as though that's appropriate.
I do feel the title is a little odd. I remember, seeing that title and thinking, why are the grapes so angry?
Yes, me too. Although it is in the Battle Hymn of the Republic, right?
Oh, is it? I don't remember.
Where the grapes of wrath are stored.
Oh, where are they stored? Where do they keep them?
I would assume in the shed. Isn't that where you keep most stuff?
I guess, but if they're incredibly wrathful, I would think you would need a place to
like
lock them away safely, so they don't hurt anybody.
Well, if you're going to sell wrath as your primary ingredient, I would think you would want to be in a cage, because where the grapes of wrath are stored.
So you have caged grapes?
I would think so.
It's pretty small bars, I would expect.
Yeah, that would be very difficult to construct. Only by small children with very tiny fingers could they construct cages that would contain the grapes of wrath.
So you're advocating child labor now?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I think that's fine.
This is a warning from the National Shoutout Bureau. Flash shoutouts for Jeff Toll may happen between 4 and 6 p.m. in the following counties: Guilford, Forsyth, Pretend County and many others. Seek shelter immediately. Shoutouts to Jeff Toll can be extremely dangerous.
I worked as a child. Did you work as a child?
I worked as a child, yeah.
Well, in farm country, it's the reason you have kids.
Ideally, yes. In the past, you had kids so that they could help work on the farm, make it easier for you.
You didn't have them for recreation.
Well,
you had them
maybe
as a consequence of the recreation, but you didn't have them.
Well, they didn't have TV. They had to have some recreation somehow.
That's right. But they had radio. So I wonder if
I hardly think radio is a good substitute for good sex.
Well, then neither should television be.
Well,
okay, so now we see Tim's biases. If you're trying to get busy with Tim, there's a good television show.
If there's a good show on, it's going to be tough.
Don't worry. If you want to, if there's an NPR thing going on,
I'm fine.
It's like, let's go ahead and just do it.
I can't tell you the number of times I've gotten some nookie while listening to Garrison Keillor.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that why you feel fondly about
Prairie Home Companion? That's why every time there's the news from Lake Wobegon, I get a little aroused.
That's right. So grapes, are you a grape person?
I'm an orange person.
You're an orange person.
I like oranges better than grapes.
So on a plate, if you had grapes, had oranges, had apples.
Yeah, okay.
What would you choose?
I would probably have a Kit Kat bar.
Kit Kat bar?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Probably.
So you'd go to. I'm assuming then. Do you have a store of Kit Kat bars in your house?
Yeah, my battle hymn is where the Kit Kat bars are stored.
Where the Kit Kat bars are stored. The angry Kit Kat bars.
Well, they should be angry. You break them.
Yeah.
You snap them off.
They encourage Kit Kat
mutilation.
Bar. That's right. Kit Kat
mutilation. You snap one of their little bars off.
As I understand, that's like a social justice movement. I only like seedless, those green kind of grapes. I don't like the red grapes. I don't like them.
They're not red, are they? They're purple, right?
Yeah, aren't there purple and red grapes?
Are there red grapes?
I think they're reddish
I think
grapes.
those are called cherries.
Well, yeah, you're right, but aren't they... Cherries are okay. Cherries are okay. I'm not confusing the two. However, this goes back to the premise that in the wild, I would not fare well.
No.
Neither one of us would do really well. They would say, "Where are the berries and the grapes?" And I would be like, I know not.
No, we would probably starve to death in caveman days.
Yes. We would have been eaten by our companions.
It's entirely possible.
I think that they would choose us out to be... Well, I think they would choose us to be killed.
I don't know that they'd eat us because I'm too high in cholesterol and you're too gamey.
Yeah, I think
you would taste really gamey, I'm sure.
They might throw us on the fire just to see, how we panned out.
Entertainment.
Well, throw us on the fire. I'm assuming, hopefully, after they killed us, not as the mechanism.
Maybe not.
Maybe not as the mechanism to kill us. And just to see how we, how we tasted, and then they could go.
No.
Just not my cup of tea.
All right, so Grapes of Wrath. We've gone too far afield. I'm pulling it back. Grapes of Wrath was a really great show that I was in when I was in college. I have to say, being in the truck for the Jode family for the first half of the show was a severe bummer because all the Jodes are packed into this little truck. It was not fun.
So
lots of smelly costumes after a run for a while.
A Jode family.
The Jode families were pretty gamey.
So you were authentic in that sense.
Oh man. Well,
I gotta ask, do you think you were the major contributor to the smell?
No,
because if you were to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10 of all the people in the truck, who was the smelliest?
Who was the smelliest? I think it was probably my friend Christian. Every night he had to run and leap and dive into this pit of water. So he is the wettest out of all of us.
So you think he got funk?
I think he got funk. That water had some serious funk. Although it did get changed at one point in the run, totally inadvertently, in that during the scene where they're digging to fill the sandbags to help with the flood, we punctured the bottom of this whatever tub it was.
Right.
And over the couple days that we weren't doing the show, it leaked out and totally ruined the flooring in the orchestra pit.
Oh, so everybody was happy?
Nobody was happy. Nobody.
That was the Grapes of Wrath.
That was very wrathful. Yeah.
I was like, screw you, auditorium. Yeah. I'm gonna spill all over you. Okay, so wrath, revenge. Wrath.
Have you ever gotten revenge for something? Like really gotten revenge?
Wow. I took vengeance. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know if that's the same
close.
thing. I struck out in anger, but in an unjustified way. All right, so my friend Timmy, okay, at his birthday party, okay, he got all these presents, and I didn't get any at his
at his birthday party. You didn't get any.
I didn't get any.
What a travesty!
I just totally, I totally felt robbed and didn't feel as though. I mean, I was like 6, and he's a couple of years younger than me. He was like 4. And his parents invited me to the house.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I have to pull this car over and stop this for a moment. You took wrathful vengeance upon a 4-year-old.
Yes, but bear in mind I was
What
6.
kind of monster are you?
Well, I still feel bad about it if
Oh
there's
my
any
God.
consolation.
Timmy, if you're listening to this, I apologize to you on behalf of Phil. I feel bad for you.
I still feel bad. I remember.
You should feel bad.
This is how I came to kind of believe that there are demons inside me. Not really. But I mean, the whole idea that parents
Oh my God.
is okay. So we were playing out. Here's the guts of it.
Mhm.
We were playing outside
Right.
on the swing set after Timmy had gotten his presents, and I was pushing a swing, and Timmy was swinging in the swing right beside where I was pushing the swing.
Okay, so you were pushing someone else.
No, I was pushing an empty
You're pushing
swing.
it. That is.
I can remember him being exquisitely happy. Okay. And
This is terrible.
This is terrible.
This is awful. I
and-
can feel it happening.
And I hated.
Oh my God. This is like a car wreck that I can't look away from. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so I swung the swing, and I swung it hard in, and these were okay. For those of you who don't remember, we used to have metal swings.
Oh my God, this is getting worse.
These were not rubber, like
No, these were child killing swings.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. I swung it towards him, and it hit him square in the face. And
oh my God.
he oh my God, we can't.
What is it? What?
His face.
No, go ahead. You've gone down this
His
road.
face exploded with blood. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
It exploded with blood, and he bled everywhere. And I told everyone it was an accident, that I didn't mean to it. But in my heart, I know that I did it on purpose.
Oh my God.
Now, I felt horrible, even as
You
a child.
should have.
As a child, even then, I felt horrible. But I understood the demon that was within me,
Oh, yeah.
that I hated it
Mhm.
when I was not as happy as someone else.
That is some wrath right there. Wow. That's very
man.
wrathful.
I'm sorry, Timmy. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for what was in my heart. I'm sorry for what I did. Please forgive me. Oh God. So the Grapes of Wrath is about the depression.
Wrath, yes.
The Grapes of Wrath is about the depression. How do you think? Well, let's ask ourselves, what do we know about the depression?
When I think about the
grape.
depression, I think about the Dust Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, lots of dust in the air.
Right. Okay. They needed more pledge.
They could have used more pledge because there's lots
apparently
of dust.
hadn't been invented yet.
No,
Apparently,
mm-mm.
it's like tiny pieces of basically the equivalent of tiny pieces of glass that the dust. It was
Right,
it was hard, so you could go blind very easily. Normally you'd be like, "Whoa, it's windy out here.
Mhm.
Oh, it's kind of blustery, and oh, there's some stuff flying around."
Oh, now
But
there's glass in my eyes.
That's right. You never really considered the idea that, just by being in a bad storm,
Yeah.
like when it's raining, I never think, "Oh my God, I might go blind."
No,
that's
one doesn't like to think about that. No.
no, but that's kind of what happened in the Depression.
That's not terribly long ago, really.
No,
Ostensibly, it's not that many years ago. But it feels, gosh, just ages removed from modern life.
Right.
You don't see those type of photos of subsistence farmers and people who live off the land and with the land not in good shape and no farm work to be had, they're starving. And that's not that there are not starving people today. There's a real problem with poverty, but
Right.
people don't live off the land like they used to. And
Right.
so that's a huge difference in society.
Well, when I was a kid, to me, the way I was brought up in my relatively privileged middle class
Yeah.
background,
Sure.
being poor meant not having food. Being poor was not having money,
Right.
because most of us didn't have money.
It was
a
not
lot-
having something to eat.
It was not having something to eat. That's right. That was what being poor. And now it's relative poverty. I'm not saying that people are well off. Please don't misunderstand.
No,
But what I'm
no.
saying is it was a different definition of poor. Poor meant I'm hungry.
Yeah.
That
There are, in fairness, a lot of hungry people now.
I'm willing to make a bet here.
Okay.
Nobody else this week
Mm-hmm.
in the world of podcasting is doing a podcast on the Grapes of Wrath.
Probably not.
And I may have to add this caveat, with so little preparation.
With absolutely no preparation whatsoever. Actually, this is our normal preparation.
That's right.
Every week. We do no preparation whatsoever.
So
I blame Brian Mullins because
I think Brian is at fault.
If he wasn't in this stupid show, we would not be talking about it.
Well, that's true. I have a couple other friends in it, so you're right. But I think he'll accept the blame. So let's give it to him.
Well, he is Tom Joad after all, and he's a very put upon character. So
yeah,
I think it's okay for us to heap some blame on him.
That's right.
That's fine. And in fact, my daughter Samantha, as a baby, was in that show.
I'm assuming she played the baby.
She played a baby. She played. It was to add a little bit more realism to the scene. She played a baby. There was a homeless family that the Joads pass on the road. They're in a camp, and so Sam played the baby in this couple's arms. And what would happen is my mother-in-law would bring Samantha in. Kate would feed her backstage beforehand so that she would be napping, sound asleep during the show. And maybe wake up a little bit and coo or carry on a little bit, but mostly docile. And this is going back to me being a method actor. I was really sinking in playing Uncle John. And there's this buddy of ours, Jack Thomas, who was a practical joker, didn't really take things too seriously. So he was always cutting up. And he was always talking to people. And I yelled at him because I was preparing to do this part.
Gosh. I am so glad you've gotten over that because and I would not get along.
Well, in my defense, I had to go on stage and take this stillborn or this dead baby that Rosa Sharon has and put it in a crate and float it off down the river.
Right.
That's a climactic scene for that character. And he talks about this baby floating down into the town and, going out and telling people about people in poverty and being like this icon. And so for me as a character, that moment was like, it was amazing to do. So Jack would always like interrupt my preparation when I was going on stage, and I yelled at him and I kept telling him I'm trying to prepare. Well, one night he decides he's going to help me out.
Right.
So he's going to help my method acting. So he comes over and he pulls me aside and he says, "Hey, I'm really sorry to hear about your baby." And I'm like, what? Because Sam is in the show, and I'm like thinking, oh my God, what happened to my daughter? Something is wrong. And he's like, I just wanted you to know I'm really sorry. I'm like, Jack, what the fuck? What happened? What's wrong? He's like, what? I'm like, what? Is Sam hurt? Did she get hurt? He's like, no. I'm talking about the baby in the play. I'm trying to help you get in character. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Can't believe you did this. So now it's even worse. I go out there on stage. I'm trying to do this scene. Just angry at Jack. I'm like, I'm going to punch him in the face.
That was an adult. I mean, only in college could you barely excuse that kind of behavior. I mean, as an adult, you can't. I mean, that's not cool.
That was not cool.
Well, let's stop talking about Grapes of Wrath.
That's enough for Grapes of Wrath. We want to thank you for joining us here at the Two-Men Podcast. We always appreciate you listening to us. And if you enjoy us, please check out our Facebook page, leave us a message. And as always, we ask you to share us with a friend.
Yes, please do. And go see that show, that Grapes of Wrath show.
Go see that show, Grapes of Wrath. That's it from me, Tim.
And from me, Phil.
And now, you know what time it is. It's that time to do Instant Opinion. It's where I pepper Phil with some words or phrases, and he returns his instant opinion without thought.
That's right.
Something he does all the time.
I do.
All right, Phil, you ready?
I'm ready.
First word, hamburger.
Hamburger. I like the taste of a good hamburger. Who doesn't? They're always juicy. They're American, but I don't like them in the sense that they're messy and they spill all over everything. Pickles, especially.
Pickles, yeah. I don't like pickles. Pickles are
ketchup.
gross.
Ketchup.
That's fine. Succubus.
succubus. I'm pro succubus on many, many, many levels. Anti succubus, and I think they steal your souls.
I think that's right.
They sit on your chest and steal your soul.
Ah, that's a little weird.
That is a little weird. It's kinky. Oh.
Macrame.
Macrame. Oh, I think macrame is delicious. Macrame. I used to eat. Everybody would do a macrame poster, and I'd always eat some of it. You know, a macrame poster was also great just as a late night snack when you didn't want to go down to the kitchen.
I don't think you know what macrame is.
Macrame? Isn't macrame? What is macrame then? What is it?
Macrame is like making this art out of fabric or yarn or rope, where you like braid it and do different things with it.
Well, what is it where you use
macaroni art or something where you glue macaroni shells on
macrame?
I don't think so.
Well,
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure not.
When my friends put noodles on a poster,
that was macrame.
We called it macrame.
Okay, good for you. America Online.
America Online. I love America Online because it was my first taste of the internet. I'm anti-America Online because it I don't know why it had a lousy web browser. It did have a lousy web browser.
That's 100% true. Tom Joad.
Tom Joad. He's a character in The Grapes of Wrath. I'm pro him because he's a good part. I'm anti him because I'm not playing him. That's fair. That's the net result.
Do you think you'd be a good Tom Joad?
I think I'd be a solid mediocre Tom Joad.
Solid mediocre. All right. Belly buttons.
Belly buttons. They are necessary, I think, by and large part for most of us. I'm con them in the sense that they get to be weird shapes, and that are not always flattering. Let's just be honest, they're not sometimes.
Do you like innies or outies?
I prefer an innie.
Okay.
Or what about you?
Innie.
Yeah.
I like outies. Outies are weird.
Well, they can be.
They're very odd shaped sometimes.
Do they do them anymore? Do they do outies anymore? Have they got?
I don't think you can help it. It just happens.
I think that they've gotten better at just making it an innie.
A cleaner product. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I haven't talked to any young people. I do young.
All right, we need to stop there.
I don't know.
Marriage.
I'm pro marriage because I am married, so that's smart on my part. That shows that I've been married.
That is true.
And there is no con. That is also a sign that I've been married. There is no con.
Unless he wants to sleep on the couch tonight. There is no con. Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese. I assume is like macrame. And I don't like macaroni and cheese. I never liked it. I thought it always was icky and gooey, and everybody loved it as a kid, and I hated it, and I felt like an outcast.
You are a terrible person.
I guess so.
Electricity.
Oh, I love it. I learned that it was dangerous early on, so electricity is not something you play with casually.
No.
And but I'm against it in the sense that it's aggressive when it comes to its lightning form. Its lightning form is really not friendly.
Not unless you're Ben Franklin.
No.
Blue velvet.
Blue velvet. I like the fabric. The movie was also okay. It's a negative in the sense that it's kind of chafy as a fabric, and Elvis liked it, so it's probably not good.
All right. Thank you, Phil. And that brings us to an end of Instant Opinion and another episode.
Yes.
Goodbye from me, Tim.
And goodbye from me, Phil.
Greetings. I am Alice. highly paid digital assistant to the two moderately entertaining nerds of the Two Men podcast. Want to let us know what you thought of the show? Have a topic you'd like to hear discussed? Feel like demanding your money back? We'd love to hear from you on 2 out of those 3 questions. Drop us an email at twomencast@gmail.com. In the meantime, please rate us and leave a review on iTunes or your podcast service of choice. Also, for all discussions moderately entertaining, you can find us at facebook.com/twomencast. Please join us again next week when we'll be guaranteed to be funny. Or not.